my goodness, this has the potential for being 100 free tomato plants. So guys, last video I mentioned that I had lots of little volunteer tomato seedlings, and if you can see in this tote, this is one of my totes that I've been growing in for a couple years, but you can see everywhere that a cherry tomato dropped and was left, most of them probably got eaten up by the microbes or animals or myself, but everywhere they dropped and they took root, they sent up, this is 1 tomato's worth of seeds. They grew lots of little seedlings. So now of course they're not going to grow in that manner. They might duke it out and 1 or 2 might grow, but they'll grow best if I pluck them out and plant them up. Now the thing with volunteers is the seed might not be true to the plant that was there the year before if it is a hybrid. And this was a tomato plant labeled as red cherry tomato. So that's really vague. I think I got it at Home Depot or Lowe's, but it was a very vague tag. So I have no idea if it was an heirloom tomato. Even though I do grow some from seed, I'm pretty sure this was a plant that I purchased with a very vague tag. So I can plant it and see what happens. If it doesn't produce, it's no big deal. It'll be a plant for the compost bin. Or if I don't like the taste of the tomatoes, again, I'll compost the plant. But in many cases, I have found when I grow little tomato seedlings, they're extra hardy because they have grown right here in this spot, and they've kind of proven themselves to be tough. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out, just going to pull out a few of these seedlings, and the other ones can remain there and duke it out. But they're very easy to pull up. I'm doing it very gently, guys. And there we go. We've got a handful of seedlings. And I'm just going to go and pot up the best looking ones. Maybe I'll take a few more. Take a few from here. These look extra robust. I'm gently pulling. These have a good root system here. Look at that, guys. I can plant up some tomatoes in little pots. Give each tomato plant lots more room, and we'll see how it goes. But last year I planted up some free tomatoes too. By the way, I'm back here near the beehive area, but it's cooled off considerably. So I think the bees are tucked into their hive. So it's safe for me to be in the back gardens, but let's go plant these up. Okay, I have filled my cells in my recycled planting tray with quality potting soil, and I'm just going to place a hole with my finger in each of the cells I want to plant up. And I'm not going to go crazy because I already have enough tomatoes in my garden, but I do like to share. But I'll pick out 12 of the best looking roots and pop those in there. So let's see if I can do this with my left hand. I'm not a left-handed person, guys. So I'm just sorting through to look at which ones might have the sturdiest stems and also a little bit of extra growth. So that looks like a very good one. Actually, that's 2, but as you can see, it's starting on the second leaf, so I'll just pop that down in there. Pinch that closed and gently tamp it in. And it's okay if you want to plant these deep. This is a good one too. If you want to plant them kind of deep, because tomatoes will root all along the stem. And I would imagine that applies to seedlings as well. Actually, I'm doing a pretty good job here with my left hand. Look, this is a very good one. Starting to send out roots in all directions. So I'll just pop that in there. So these are my left-handed seedlings. And once I water these in, the soil will really settle around the roots. That is a terrific one. Look how nice that is. I hope you can see all those nice roots. And these plants should be very happy coming out of such a crowded situation. Here's another one with lots of good roots. And I actually planted a lot of seeds that were orange tomatoes. So I'm actually kind of happy that my red tomatoes dropped and seeded themselves for this year. They were actually very tasty red cherry tomatoes. But like I said, if they're hybrid, they might not grow true to what they were last year. But that's okay, because usually when they breed tomatoes together, they're using a couple of good varieties. So we'll see, guys. This is an experiment. I have had luck in the past doing it. Comment down below and let me know if you've done this before. If you've nurtured any volunteer seedlings. I find that volunteers, because they have grown in a spot that the previous year a plant has been happy, I find that they're extra strong. So we'll see. Sometimes they're even extra disease resistant. I can't believe I'm doing this left-handed. So some of these roots look better than others. So we'll see what it takes. But here's some, you can see the hair roots are starting to grow. So I'll just pop that down here. And actually, guys, this is going to be a little bit of a cooler week. I'm glad I did it this week and not last week, because it is going to be a little bit cooler. And I think it'll serve this transplant process a little better, that it's not sweltering hot, because it'll give them a chance to root in before the heat returns. And I'm just kind of digging through some of these. Like I said, some of them look like a better root system, and I'm just picking the very best one. After all, I have hundreds of these things, so I can afford to be picky about it. But I think, here we go. I think I have one good last one here. Should be very good. These are going to be so happy. Gosh, I'm not sure if I can be satisfied with just 12, guys. I may have to fill up another tray. But I'm going to go ahead and water these in. Oh my goodness, they are so cute. So I'm just going to take this moment to water them in. This is going to settle the soil all around the roots so they don't have air pockets. Oh my gosh, this is so satisfying to have 12 free tomato plants. Even though I paid for the soil, guys, I am calling these free plants. When you can go in your garden and find free volunteer vegetable plants that could grow up and give you loads of food, it's a big thrill. Sometimes they do like to leave things in place and let them grow where they fall, but obviously that big clump of tomatoes wasn't going to grow into one big tomato plant. They were going to crowd each other out. But now these guys have a chance. And it's happened over here too. Everywhere a tomato fell, there's some beautiful tomato seedlings growing. I think I'm going to have to take these as well. I'm going to take the whole clump. I'm just loosening up and take this whole clump. Look at that beautiful batch of tomatoes. So I'm going to go plant those up. I don't think hundreds of tomatoes should go to waste. So I'm going to go separate those out and plant up a flat of those as well. Oh, I just can't resist. Isn't nature bountiful? As usual, things have escalated out of control around here. When it comes to baby plants, I just can't resist. I planted up 4 cell packs of the tomatoes I found in the blue bin. So These are probably 2 different types of tomatoes, and I'm excited to see what shows up. It's always, when you have volunteers, it's always nice to see what was hardy enough to come back and germinate a second year. Normally when you have things volunteer in your garden, they volunteer because the conditions are right. So these should be tough little plants, and we'll see if they produce some good tasting tomatoes. And nothing is lost if you don't try. If they're not good, I haven't really lost anything. They were completely free. I did recycle the plastic cells that I've planted it in, and I guess the only cost was the bit of soil I've used, but I buy soil anyway. So I'm going to consider all these plants free, and guys, there are probably 1,000 more little seedlings out there, but I'm going to resist and just stick with these, and I'll keep you updated and let you know what they grow. So thanks so much for watching, and get out in your garden and see if you can identify little clumps of tomato seedlings. Look what you can do. So much fun. And it didn't take any time at all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.